You guess for somebody. So who you guess for? Quite lovely.
Please be upstanding for Worship the Mayor and the Mayoral Party.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for your attendance today on what is a sweltering day outside. And I'm sure everybody's enjoying the aircon in here. So welcome to this annual meeting, also sometimes known as the Mayor Making Ceremony for obvious reasons, which will shortly become clear. Case in point, I'm going to talk about mobiles in a minute and making sure that they're off. Good cue. This meeting is also the first meeting of a new council following the recent council elections. As such, it is my great pleasure to congratulate each and every one of you on your election to your role of councillor in Hounslow. I hope that you all have had a chance to recover. We have a large number of guests and dignitaries with us this evening, so I'd like to extend a warm welcome to them and to all of you. We're delighted that you're able to be here with us tonight. May I also welcome members of the public who are watching the meeting either on YouTube or here in Hounslow House in the public gallery. Thank you for joining us this evening. May I now ask everyone present to make sure that their mobile phones are on silent mode. So it's okay, you had a free pass until now. Also, may I remind all members that it's a long-standing rule in Hounslow that whilst the public may use social media during the meeting, councillors may not do so until after the meeting has ended. Do all members have the agenda documents for tonight? We should all have the main agenda item and a supplementary agenda, which was published earlier today online, and a hard copy of the latter has been placed on the table in front of you. Everybody have that? Good. There's also an official photographer in attendance who will occasionally be taking photos at various points of the proceedings, who's looking straight at me at the moment. Give him a wave, Jag. May I remind guests and journalists that they are also welcome to take photos or film proceedings, but they should refrain from using any flash photography during the meeting and should remain in their seats so as not to obstruct proceedings. There will, of course, be plenty of opportunity for pictures to be taken after the meeting. Finally, in terms of introductions, I would like to advise members that today is a ceremonial meeting and starts the 4-year life of this council term. So whilst we shall be making some important decisions today, I would ask everybody to keep their contributions positive. We will now move on to the first substantive item on the agenda, and I hope that everyone watching this meeting here in the chamber will have a very enjoyable time. So agenda item 1, apologies for absence and declarations of interest from members. It seems I've used up all my vocabulary this year and can no longer speak properly. So apologies. I've received apologies for absence from Councillor Paul Baker, Councillor Theo Dennison. Sorry. And also Councillor Jack Emsley. Members will be saddened to hear the news that Councillor Emsley lost his mother over the weekend following a short illness. And I know that all members will want me to send him and his family our sympathies and condolences at this very difficult time. And our thoughts are with him. Yes, Councillor Sidhu.
Apologies, Madam Mayor. There is an absence from Councillor Charmy Palmer.
Sorry. Thank you, Councillor Sidhu. Are there any other absences? Thank you very much. So on the agenda, you will see a document of declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from any members? No, thank you. In that case, we can move to agenda item 2, announcements. So I would like to open by congratulating Councillor Shantanu Rajwa on being elected leader of the Labour group, Councillor Jack Emsley on becoming leader of the Conservative group, Councillor Tony Brown on being elected leader of the Reform group. Got to get my bearings. Where are you? Oh, sorry, apologies. And Councillor Guy Lambert on becoming leader of the Green group. By contrast, we now come to some sad announcements. As many members will be aware that since the last meeting of the council in March, we have lost 3 former members, and it is my great sadness to announce the deaths of former councillors John Howlison, former councillor Junu Mir, and former councillor Jadis Sharma. In addition, former MP Feltham and Heston, Peter Ground, has also very sadly recently died. As these people have all played a significant part in the life of the borough, it is right that we pay tribute to them tonight. Therefore, I will say a few words on each of them and then invite tributes from others for each of the 4 after I have done so. We will start with Peter Ground, who was the Conservative MP for Feltham and Heston between 1983 and 1992, and before this had been a councillor in the London Borough of Hammersmith, as it was known at the time, between 1967 and 1971. He had a particular interest in planning and local government and often spoke on these during his parliamentary career. Outside of his political life, Mr. Ground was a barrister and became a QC in 1981. He sadly died on the 7th of April 2026 at the age of 93. Former councillor John Howlison was a Liberal Democrat councillor in Hounslow for 10 years between 2000 and 2010. He first entered the council at a by-election in 2000 as the member for the East Bedfont ward, and then represented the Bedfont ward from 2002 until 2010. During this time on the council, he sat on the Confidential Cases Subcommittee, the Licensing Committee, the West Area Committee, the Adoption and Permanence Panel, the Standards Committee, and the Corporate Parenting Panel. He also served as the council appointee on a number of outside bodies, including the Bedfont Lakes Country Park Trust Fund Panel and the David Henry Waring Home Committee. In his life outside of the council, former councillor Howlison had been honoured by the United Nations for his service in the Korean War. He was also a qualified surveyor. He was involved in a huge range of organisations in Hounslow, including MENCAP, the Fair Trade Campaign, and the Feltham and Bedfont Carnival. As part of the council, he was an advocate for the need to invest in youth services. Former councillor Howlison died on the 2nd of April 2026 at the age of 92. I'm also very sorry to have to advise members of the death of Councillor Junu Mir, the Deputy Mayor and then sitting councillor for the Hounslow East Ward on the 8th of March 2026. Councillor Mir was first elected to the council in 2022 as a Labour councillor and immediately distinguished himself as a fully engaged community councillor, diligently serving the residents of his ward. Although only serving 1 council term, Councillor Mir served on a large number of committees, including the Central Housing Area Forum, Pension Fund Panel, Licensing and General Purposes Committee, Overview and Scrutiny Committee, and the Housing and Environmental Scrutiny Panel. He was also appointed as a council representative on a number of outside bodies, including the Thomas Layton Collection Trust and the Hounslow Community Association. Councillor Mear was also currently serving as the Deputy Mayor at the time of his passing, having been appointed to the role in May 2025. He had closely supported me as the Mayor by attending a large number of events across Hounslow and was always particularly delighted to be asked to attend the regular citizenship ceremonies as guest of honour. He was also very proud to be the first Deputy Mayor of Bangladeshi heritage in the borough. I will also be personally very grateful to him for his charm, humour and support throughout the time we worked together as Mayor and Deputy Mayor. In his professional life, Councillor Mear was a noted local businessman and ran the popular Spice of India restaurant in Witton High Street. He served as General Secretary and Trustee of the West London Bangladesh Welfare Association and was Deputy Secretary of the Bangladesh Catering Association. Born in January 1971, in his private life, Councillor Mear was a huge and devoted follower of cricket and interested in world politics. He was also a member of the Unite Union. He is survived by his wife and 2 children, and I was pleased to invite his family to join me in the Mayor's Parlour recently to discuss his life. I also presented them with a photograph album featuring images of his time as Deputy Mayor. And finally, it is also my sad duty to advise members of the death of Councillor Jagdish Rai Sharma, MBE MA, who was in many ways a legendary councillor in the history of Hounslow. He had a remarkable and distinguished career spanning over 5 decades and giving dedicated and continuous public service for almost 52 years as a councillor to the residents of this borough. This represents 84% of the time that the London Borough of Hounslow has been in existence, as the council itself has been marking its 60th anniversary this year. Born in 1934, Councillor Sharma was first elected to the council on Thursday, the 2nd of May, 1974, formally taking office 4 days later on Monday, the 6th of May, in 1974 as a Labour councillor in the Hounslow Heath ward. He then went on to serve as a councillor in the Hounslow West ward, and he was still serving his residents in this capacity until his death. Councillor Sharma's council career was extensive and varied. He served on many formal council bodies over his 52 years of office. Amongst some of his most important roles are included as the Chair of the Education Committee, Chair of the Arts and Recreations Committee, Chair of the Grants Committee, Chair of the Leisure Services Committee, Chair of Finance and General Purposes Committee, Chair of Policy Committee and Leader of the Council, and Chair of the Audit and Governance Committee. He was also a long-serving member of the Central Hounslow Area Forum and was the Chair of the Pension Fund at the time of his passing. Councillor Sharma also served as part of the London Government Association General Assembly, the London Council Leaders Committee, the Association of Public Service Excellence and the Community Relations Council, as well as many other pan-London and regional governmental bodies. Councillor Sharma made history by becoming the first Asian mayor in the United Kingdom when he served as mayor in the London Borough of Hounslow in 1979 to 1980, meeting the Queen Mother and featuring in Time magazine as part of his mayoral year. He later received an MBE from her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace. He was also the only member of the council to have served as mayor, deputy leader and leader of the opposition at different points during his lengthy career. Councillor Sharma was deputy leader of the council between 2002 to 2006 and leader of the opposition between 2006 and 2010, and then leader of the council from 2010 to 2014. He was then made an honorary freeman of the borough in 2000, and the council also held a 50th anniversary event to celebrate Councillor Sharma's 5 decades of continuous public service and as an elected member of the council in 2024. Councillor Sharma also served as a JP. He is survived by his 2 children, Monish and Rajnish. Former councillors Sharma, Mear and Howliston will be remembered very positively by many in the chamber tonight and by those who knew them in the community. I know that some of them will want to say a few words in remembrance about them. I know that we have members who wish to pay tribute to each, so I will start with the tributes to the late Peter Ground. I would usually ask a councillor to speak on this occasion, but as a one-off, I intend to ask Honorary Alderman Paul Lynch to speak about this, as I know that they were personal friends. Alderman Lynch, may I invite you to share your memories of Peter Ground with the council? Thank you.
Madam Mayor, before we start, do you mind if I submit a correction for the record?
Certainly.
It's Patrick Ground, not Peter Ground.
I'm so sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It is a great privilege to be able to pay tribute to Patrick Ground, Conservative MP for Feltham and Heston from 1983 to 1992. He was neither a dry nor a wet. He backed tough measures against abuses of power by trade unions, but opposed restoring capital punishment. He rebelled against the government's abolition of the Greater London Council. And although a loyal Conservative, his independence and his bouts of bipartisanship helped him forge good relations with Labour figures in local and national politics. When I first met Patrick, I'd just been elected to represent Riverside. And it seemed a paradox that in the Borough of Hounslow, the same electorate, had chosen two moderate traditional Tories as members of Parliament, and they'd chosen a council dominated by what was then called the loony left. I remember being surprised at the respect that the leaders of the Labour group had for Patrick, and he for them. He worked hard and effectively for the borough, and being a barrister who specialised in property and planning law, and with long experience as a councillor himself in Hammersmith and Fulham, he had a lot to contribute. The urbane and conventional QC and the fiery left-wingers like Dave Wetzel, John Connolly, Steve Crawshaw, Mick Hunt, they all worked well together. Even Tony Lukey, he did well. I overheard one of them mutter, "Why couldn't he be one of ours?" And it is for this that we should remember him today. Working together across party divisions for the good of the borough was his priority, and he would want it to be ours. We know that it's long been yours, Madam Mayor. But back in the 80s, we could never have believed that politics could ever be more polarized than it was then. But look at us now. So remember Patrick, and let's all try and work together. He was selected for Feltham and Heston to fight two general elections in 74 and one in 79. Although he was defeated in all three, on his fourth attempt in 1983, he was elected. And it's as much for his commitment to the constituency and the local association's admiration for him that the relationship was so enduring. And when you think of people working hard at canvassing, Patrick and his family worked super hard. I can't remember which election it was. I don't think it was one of the ones that he won, but Caroline, his wife, was expecting their youngest, and they were out canvassing, and she was saying, no, it's not, there's not a problem, it's not on the way. Oh God, it's coming now. And so young Tom was born in a car park in Feltham. Now, if that's not dedication to the cause, I don't know what is. Feltham were very well served by that family. Yes, where was he? Oh, yes. At 50, he was one of the oldest of the new intake and probably too old to anticipate a ministerial career. He doubled his majority in the 87 general election to just over 5,000. During Patrick's time, Conservatives held very few seats in his constituency, I think 2. And he would have been delighted to see the new intake welcomed here today. Patrick was born in 1932, the eldest of 2 boys. They were brought up in very modest circumstances by their mother and maternal grandparents. Both boys had free school meals. During the war years, the family were frequently evacuated, and they eventually settled. Patrick won a place at Beckenham and Penge County Grammar School. The grammar schools, they did wonders for us, didn't they? He went on to university, and there isn't time really to go into all of his excellent career, but we should just note that he acquired his conservative sympathies, unusual for someone in his background, from his mother and his grandparents. His grandfather was a cooper, who made barrels for a brewery. And his politics had been developed in part out of hostility to the Liberal Party, which had been anti-drink when he was young. So that's how political opinions get started. So we should remember Patrick as a true friend of the borough, whose actions, whose vision, and whose generous spirit are still benefiting us today. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Honorary Alderman Lynch. Can I now invite Councillor Roger Crouch to speak about Mr. Howliston?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. John Howliston was a man whose politics were rooted in his Methodist faith. He may well have been one of those liberals who viewed drink as a sin, and his lived military experience. As Madam Mayor, you mentioned, he was honoured by the United Nations for his service in the Korean War. Professionally, John became a qualified surveyor. John and his wife, Robina, settled in Bedfont, where they were both active in a large number of organisations. John was of the liberal tradition of the Liberal Democrats. He was deeply committed to his residents in Bedfont and solving their casework with officers. Indeed, he was prolific in this regard. I spoke to Robina, his wife, earlier, and she told me that email and phone calls were not enough. He would go and knock on the residents' door to solve their problems. As group leader during a period of no overall control for this council, Andrew Dacres, formerly of this council, recalls that John Howliston brought a common sense and pragmatic view to how the group should function and always supported cooperation with other parties where there was common ground, putting residents before party. Whilst I have no group yet, this is a custom I hope to follow. I first got to know John during the 2011 Feltham and Heston by-election, where I was the candidate. John, his knowledge of Hounslow politics was encyclopedic, and his living room an archive of council papers. It was no reflection on his abilities that he lost his seat in 2010. That was a result of the higher turnout when there was a general election on the same day. It is bittersweet for me that 20 years after John and his Liberal Democrat colleagues were elected to this council, I sit here today with memories of John poised to carry forward the Liberal baton in Hounslow. Thank you, Madam Mayor. My condolences to Robina and her family.
Thank you, Councillor Crouch, for that tribute. May I now ask for tributes to Councillor Janu Mia? Can I invite Councillor Shantanu Rajawat?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. It's a source of great sadness that our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Janu Mia, is no longer sitting there beside you. Councillor Mia's sad passing in March was such a huge loss to the council, to the Labour Party, to his community, and to the whole of Hounslow. Janu was many things to many people. He was a successful local businessman with a thriving restaurant down on Witton High Street. His generous hospitality made it a place that many of us came to know and really love. I guess my only regret is that I never made it to one of his famous Elvis nights, but I believe you did, Madam Mayor. June is also a very well-respected pillar of the Bangladeshi community. And at last year's meeting, he became Hanslow's first Deputy Mayor of Bangladeshi heritage. Junu was a great believer in the power of community. He believed in the values of compassion and public service, of working to achieve real change for his local area. He was a proud champion of our Labour values, and he will be a great loss to our party. As I said, Junu was many things to many people, but above everything else, he was a friend to everyone he met. His kindness and enthusiasm were hard to ignore. His warmth, gentleness, and humour will be remembered fondly by all who knew him. Out on the campaign trail, in his old ward of Hounslow East, many residents talked about the deep impression he'd left on them as a man eager to help, proud to serve, and a friend to anyone in need. Over the last weeks and months, our thoughts and prayers have been with his wife, daughter, and son, all of whom should be immensely proud of Junu, who was loved and respected across the borough and across the political divide. So let us join together in gratitude and admiration for our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mia, our dear friend, Junu. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajawat. Can I now ask Councillor Giles, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. On behalf of my colleagues in the Conservative group, I want to offer our sincere condolences to the family, friends, and colleagues of former councillor Juno Mere. Although we sat on opposite sides of the chamber politically, Juno was always someone who treated people with warmth, kindness, and genuine respect. I first met him before he was elected in the summer of August 2021, when we both attended a football game of the opening ceremony of Brentford Football Club in support of the then Mayor, Bishnu Goring's chosen charity, SAFA. He was a warm man who was quick to smile and quickly asked for photos. I don't think he realised at the time that I wasn't one of his future colleagues, but once selected, he was always quick to say hello, and his welcoming smile broke down many political barriers in a way that we can all learn from. Many of us knew him not just as a Labour councillor or as deputy mayor, but as someone deeply rooted in his community. He clearly cared enormously about the residents he represented and took great pride in serving Hounslow. Whether attending community events, citizenship community ceremonies, or council meetings, he carried himself with dignity, humility, and a quiet sense of public service. It was especially significant that he became Hounslow's first deputy mayor of Bangladeshi heritage, as we've already heard today. That was clearly a source of great pride for him, his family, and many across the borough, and rightly so. What stands out most in the tributes paid to Juno is the consistency of them. People from all backgrounds and political traditions have described him as generous, friendly, compassionate, and decent. Those are qualities which matter greatly in public life, and they are qualities he had in abundance. His passing is not just a loss for the Labour group, but to the whole council and the wider Hounslow community. Our thoughts and prayers are with him, with his wife, children, and loved ones at this very difficult time. May he rest in peace.
Thank you, Councillor Giles. May I now ask for tributes to Jagdish Sharma, and can I ask Councillor Rajwat again, please?
Thank you once again, Madam Mayor. So I've known Uncle Sharma since I was a boy. In 2022, it was the greatest honour of my life to become leader of the London Borough of Hounslow, not least because at that time I was proposed by Councillor Jagdish Sharma, the man I had looked up to since I was a boy. Now, with a bereavement as personal as that, it's often hard to look beyond what he meant to me and my family and appreciate just what a giant of a man Uncle Sharma was to the whole of Hounslow. Jagdish Sharma was amongst the early generation of Asian migrants to the UK, people who worked tirelessly to build new lives while strengthening the foundations of community and belonging. His dedication to supporting others, particularly new families settling in Hounslow, earned him profound respect and affection. He was a school teacher, a magistrate, a council leader, and later an MBE. He served on the council for a record-breaking 50 continuous years. But he was also a mentor, a guide, and a trusted friend to many, including my own family. His kindness, his wisdom, and encouragement shaped my life personally and inspired a new generation of aspiring public servants, many of whom are here this evening. He was an inspiration not only because he was the borough's first Asian leader, but because of the values that drove him throughout his life. He believed in the power of public service and in the importance of building community with purpose. We talk a lot about the value of diversity, representation, and community, but I do think it's important we understand what those words mean, because Uncle Sharma understood them all too well. He understood the importance of people stepping up from their community to deliver real change. He understood that the representation mattered, and the job of an elected representative was to ensure every voice is heard at the highest possible level. And he understood the value of community, the community that welcomed him to Hounslow and the community he helped to build. Those are beliefs we should all take pride in. They are what makes this borough truly great, and they are what made Uncle Sharma so proud to call this place home. More importantly for all of us here tonight, Uncle Sharma believed that as a resident of this borough, the council should work for you, no matter who you are or where you live. This is the borough that he helped to build. This is the council he was proud to serve. And Uncle Sharma is the person upon whose shoulders we stand today. It's for that reason I know that every one of us here tonight will join me in paying tribute to Councillor Jagdish Rai Sharma, MBE. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Can I now ask Vikram Garriwell, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, fellow councillors and distinguished residents, looking across this room, I rise tonight to pay tribute to a true giant of Hounslow politics, Councillor Jagdish Sharma. To have served our borough for over 50 years is an achievement that will almost be never eclipsed by anyone ever again. He was elected first in 1974, as we heard. Jagdish Uncle, or Uncle Sharma as I used to call him, was a trailblazer. When he became the first Asian mayor in Hounslow in 1979, he made history not just locally, but nationally. And we heard about the newspaper covers that he was on at the time as well, because of that magnificent achievement, breaking ceilings that many of us could not imagine. And a lot of us are here today because of it as well. But measuring his legacy based on his titles he held would miss and not pay tribute to the man himself. Before and during his time in these chambers, in the Civic Centre and this chamber, Jagdish spent decades as a head teacher and a maths teacher in Southall. He approached public service the same way in terms of patience, fairness, and deep commitment that he used in his classroom, and it's something I've heard from thousands of his pupils in the past as well. He was a mentor to so many of us across this floor and across parties, and most importantly, across every corner of this borough in the communities that a lot of us are proud and have the honour to serve. I vividly remember seeing him in my childhood in the old Civic Centre as a little boy. I particularly liked seeing him because he had the best biscuits out of any councillor. He always had an open door policy, so he always welcomed you in. But most importantly, he reminded me very much of my grandfather, because he was in that first wave of migrants, one of the first to come into politics from a South Asian background. He told me stories of trials and tribulations that none of us can ever imagine, by wanting to stand for the community that he lived in and wanting to represent the community that he came from. The path that he trod in, not many of us have before. And actually, I had the pleasure of campaigning alongside him in 2014 for him as well, and hearing these stories and about all the differences he had made across the borough whilst walking those exact same streets is something I'll remember today. But also knocking on doors and asking people to vote for him. And they used to say to me, son, we voted for this man for over 30 years. Do you think we're going to stop now? That he was someone that was vividly respected by everyone, even if he was a councillor for 30, 40 years, and that's not an easy thing to do. So we have lost a true pioneer, a public servant of the highest order, and above all, a true gentleman to us all. Whilst he will be deeply missed, his fingerprints are on every part of this borough and the place that we call home. Our heartfelt condolences go to him and his family during this difficult time, and he's someone that we will love and miss dearly. May his remarkable soul rest in peace, and thank you, Uncle Sharma, for everything you did for us.
Thank you, Councillor Garriwell. Can I ask Councillor Pritam Garriwell, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. When I first arrived in this country, Madam Mayor, in 1976, Jagdish Sharma was already a local councillor. It wasn't long before I got to know him. Everybody knew him in Hounslow. Councillor Sharma was always looking out for people. He believed it was his duty to put something back into the community that had supported him. He believed that everyone should be afforded dignity and respect, whatever their status. That is why Jagdish joined the Labour Party. In 1970, former Councillor Mike Nichols was impressed by seeing him talking to the residents. And with Mike's support, Jagdish was convinced to stand in election in 1974. By 1979, he became Hounslow's first Asian mayor, and in 1 year attended over 600 engagements. The highlight being the visit by Queen Mother to Lambton School. But none of these achievements could distract him from what he saw as his main purpose in life, to help those around him. Jagdish eventually rose to become leader of the local party, leading us back into the power after 4 long years of opposition. It was then that I had a great honor to serving as a cabinet member under him. Jagdish Sharma taught me a lot, and he and his wife Umla became very close friends. It was great honor to attend the celebration of his 50 years as a councillor in 2024, an achievement I'm sure will never be matched. We owe him great debt of gratitude for his service, and we owe it to him now to carry on his proud legacy for the future generations. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you for those lovely tributes. Thank you, Councillor Garrywell, for the memories of our friend Jagdish Sharma. On behalf of all members, I would like to extend our sympathies and thoughts to the families and friends of the late Patrick Round and former councillors John Howlerson and former serving councillors Junu Mir and Jagdish Sharma at this very sad time. Can I now ask everybody to stand in silent tribute for 1 minute? Thank you. We now move to agenda item 3, onto the reports on the agenda. The first this evening is simply a request for members to note the names of those who were elected on the 7th of May 2026. May I therefore ask members to note the names? Thank you. I'd like to wish all members great success over the life of the council. And on behalf of the council, I would also like to thank the previous members. Some of them I know are here today for their dedicated service to the council and the community in the past, and we wish them well in the future. We now move to agenda item 4. Agenda item. I'm running out of words, so it's a good job this is my last agenda item. The election of mayor and appointment of deputy mayor. So the first main item of business tonight is the election of the mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow for the municipal year 2026-2027. Members will find this at page 9 of their agenda. May I invite Councillor Shantanu Rajrat to propose a nomination?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. I am absolutely delighted to propose Councillor Ranjit Gill, or as we also know him, the Lion of Punjab, to be the Mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow. Ranjit's gentleness, generosity and wit are just the qualities we need our Mayor to have. It's hard to believe that Ranjit joined our party just 12 months ago at this very meeting. Since then, he has become a firm friend to us all, even breaking a smile from our own Councillor Tony Lukey. In this year's election, he stood as Labour candidate in Ostley and Spring Grove ward. The ward Councillor Lukey describes as the cleanest, the greenest, and the most discerning ward in the borough. He loves that. It's no surprise then that the discerning residents of Ostley and Spring Grove returned Ranjit as their third Labour councillor. So what can we expect from Councillor Gill's mayoralty? Now, I am going to steal, unfortunately, from the opposition group here. According to the Conservatives, who have repeatedly proposed Ranjit for mayor, we will have a mayor who is able to work cross-party, a key characteristic. He will be a brilliant fundraiser. I look forward to seeing that in action, Councillor Gill. But also, he will be the first openly LGBTQ mayor in our borough's history. And he will speak for our whole community, working with people of all faiths and none. Most of all, though, I know we can expect lots of fun. From his colourful outfits to his mischievous sense of humour, Councillor Gill has what it takes to be a unifying figure in these increasingly divided times. That being an ability to see the best in people, to engage, to listen, and to ultimately have some fun. On a more serious note, however, I believe that there is no greater testament to someone's character than their capacity to feel love. And Ranjit loved his late partner, Peter, as much as anyone I have ever known. Ranjit, I know tonight is a bittersweet moment for you. I know how much you would have wanted Peter to be here at your side to celebrate this moment. But please do know, Peter is always with you and would be the proudest person in Hounslow tonight. It's in Peter's honour that Ranjit has chosen to support Age UK Hounslow's dementia services. I'm sorry, I've given that one away. But it's in his honour tonight that we are all wearing forget-me-nots alongside our Labour Rose. And it is in his honour that we will be making our own separate donation to Alzheimer's Society, for which Ranjit has previously helped to fundraise. And I know I speak for all of us when I say it is with great pride that we nominate you to be the next Mayor of Hounslow. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajawat. May I now invite Councillor Lillybath to second the proposal, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and it gives me great pleasure to second Councillor Ranjit Gill as the next Mayor of Hounslow. It's been actually a great pleasure getting to know Ranjit over the last year. I didn't know you very well, but there's many sides of you that I've just seen, and it's been wonderful. He really is someone who has the ability to make everyone feel at ease, and that's what comes across so strongly. And I'm not sure what we ever did without you, actually. So his wit, his humour are exactly what we need to bring our borough together here in Hounslow. And his choice of charity is a beautiful and loving tribute, and something that is very close to my heart, having served as Cabinet Member for Health and Social Care. So thank you for that. Councillor Gill joined our party because he believed in the power of working towards a common goal. But even before that, since he was first elected in 2018, he had always shown his ability to work cross-party in order to help things done for residents. And it just goes to show, whatever the colour of your rosette, I hope you will agree that this approach is what is needed today. And this is what will make Ranjit an excellent mayor. And I know, Madam Mayor, that he will follow in your example of being kind, fair, and patient during meetings, and that he will bring to his public engagements a friendliness and charm, and he will really endear himself to residents. Councillor Gill always looked good in red. But given his sartorial flair and love for bright canvassing outfits, I know the mayoral scarlet robe will be less of a colourful addition, but no doubt a wonderful addition to your wardrobe. Councillor Gill's mayoralty, will be one of celebration, collaboration, and community. He'll be bright and energetic, ambassador for our borough, and he will be a listening and compassionate friend to all of our residents. That is why I hope you will join me in supporting Councillor Gill as next Mayor of Hounslow. I think you'll do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bath. I understand that we have another nomination from Councillor Omashisho. If you would like to speak, please.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and I'd like to congratulate you as well for a wonderful 12 months as Mayor of Hounslow. You've done a great job and following the footsteps of some great mayors from west of the borough, or east of the borough, should I say, including Councillor Paul Lynch, who's here with us tonight. Those were big boots for any incoming councillor to fill. So congratulations for you. Ladies and gentlemen, for years, as you may have heard, I've stood here and I have presented in this chamber Councillor Ranjit Gill, the then former Lion of Punjab, to be anointed as the mayor of this borough. Indeed, thrice I presented him for this kingly crown, and thrice you refused. So to misquote Shakespeare, I would ask, judgment thou had fled to brutish beasts. So why now do you feel that Mayor Gill would be the right person for the fit? I guess in uncertain times, a nervous pride often looks to its lion. So that's where we've got here, Madam Mayor. But yes, that's very true. Yeah. But let me remind all of you that it was us here on this side who raised Councillor Gill as a young cub. I presented him like Rafiki who presented Simba to his pride when he was a bit younger. But again, you refused. But one thing we taught Councillor Gill is to never go where he's merely tolerated, but to always go where he is truly needed. And of course, you see tonight, Councillor Gill, you are really needed on that side. But knowing Councillor Gill, as I do, I know doesn't like an easy competition.
Councillor Mashisho, I'm really sorry to do this, but it has to be about your nomination.
Yes.
Please make it about your nomination.
I will get to that.
Not about the Labour group's nomination.
I will get to that. We'd be very happy to know.
Please get to it now.
Yes. So knowing Councillor Gill as I do, I know that he likes competition. He doesn't like procession. So for this competition today, we've got somebody from the north to come and take to challenge your position tonight. In fact, not exactly north. He is from the east of the borough, the very same place the Councillor Rajawat once called a backwater. In that place, ladies and gentlemen, is where we find the rising star of Chiswick Homefields and our next mayor of Hounslow. I introduce to you Councillor Mike Dennis. Many of us were elected on a mandate saying that Hounslow deserved better. But tonight, Madam Mayor, I'd like to say Hounslow deserves Dennis. Some of us were elected on a mandate for greener, cleaner, safer borough. Tonight, I might say that we'll have a greener, cleaner, and a safer pair of hands in Mike Dennis. Some of us, indeed, were also elected on a mandate to fix Hounslow. Friends, I and Mike Dennis will iron out all the issues we have. All the potholes will be flattened. All the pavements will be clean and flat. A unifying mayor is what we need in this borough. A chorister, somebody that will get us singing from the same hymn sheet. So, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Mayor, let us start this new era on the right footing. Let us start with this historic first in a chamber full of historic firsts. Let us start by proclaiming and proposing Mayor Iron Mike Dennis as our next Mayor of Hounslow.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mashisho. Can I ask Councillor Darshan Nagy to second, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's a great pleasure to rise and second nominate the Councillor Michael Dennis as Mayor of London Borough of Hounslow. Michael is someone who has given many years of dedication service to the borough and its residents. Throughout that time, he has earned a reputation as a thoughtful, experienced, and respected councillor who approaches public service with integrity and professionalism. What stands out most about Mike is that his approachable and friendly nature. Residents know him as someone who listens, gives his time generously and genuinely, cares about the community he serves, Colleagues across the chamber know him as someone who treats people with respect and works consecutively with others. These qualities matter greatly in a mayor. The role is about representing every resident of our borough and bringing communities together. Michael understands that responsibility, and I know he would carry out with dignity, warmth, and pride. He has always been a strong ambassador for Hounslow and for civic life in our borough. At a time when politics can often feel divided, Michael represents decency, calm leadership, and public service at its best. I would also like to recognize the support of his family and loved ones, whose encouragement undoubtedly helps make public service possible. I have absolutely no doubt that Mike would serve as an excellent mayor for the London Borough of Hounslow. I therefore give my great pleasure to formally second the nomination of Councillor Michael Dennis as mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Nagy. Can I now ask if there are any further nominations for mayor? No, in that case, we now have two highly respected candidates for the position of mayor. The process will now be that I intend to take the nominations together, and I will allow a short time for any member to speak in support of their favoured candidate if they wish. I'm sure that all comments will be positive and non-partisan on this happy occasion, so that positive speeches about the candidate you favour rather than negative ones about the other candidate. After that, I will allow each proposer in reverse order to sum up briefly, and then we will vote on each candidate in the same order. So may I ask if anybody wishes to make a speech about one of the candidates? And it's not mandatory. If people don't wish to, then we can move to the vote straight away. In that case, we will move straight to the vote. So we have two fine candidates this evening for the role of Mayor 2026-27. So may I ask members to vote, not mote, with a show of hands for the candidate they would like to be elected. So make sure you raise your hands high in the air and keep them in the air so that officers have long enough to count. So accurately, thank you. So can I have firstly a show of hands for candidates in reverse order? So may I first ask for a show of hands for a vote for Councillor Dennis, please? Not two hands, Councillor Shisho. Thank you. Oh, okay, I miscounted. 27, but I think I may have added some people. Thank you very much. And can I now ask for a show of hands for a vote for Councillor Gill, please? Sorry, hands down. Apologies. And any abstentions, please? Thank you. In that case, I can confirm that the Councillor Ranjit Gill has been elected as Mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow for the municipal year 2026-27. May I now invite the new Mayor to sign the Declaration of Acceptance of Office, please? Where is that? Oh, it's there. May I now ask the Chief Executive to address the Council, please?
So I can also confirm that in accordance with Schedule 2 of the Local Government Act 1972 for the municipal year of 26-27, that the Deputy Mayor will be Councillor Sahiba Hussain. And now there will be a short adjournment.
Please be upstanding for His Worship the Mayor and the Mayoral Party.
Please be seated. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, members, for electing me as your mayor. It's a great pleasure to serve you, and I'll be talking more about my plans shortly. I look forward to working with all members from all parties, and although the voting went a different way, I would like to pay tribute to Councillor Dennis, who I know would also have made a fine mayor. And no doubt he is liked by colleagues across the whole council chamber. We now move to vote for thanks to Councillor Amy Croft as our previous mayor. As you will know, it is tradition for the original proposer and seconder for the outgoing mayor for a year ago to propose and second the vote of thanks. I would therefore like to invite Councillor Rajawat.
So used to saying Madam Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and many, many congratulations to you and the Deputy Mayor on your election. And I echo your words on Councillor Dennis as well. I look forward to working with you across the chamber as well. It's a great honour for me to move a massive vote of thanks for our wonderful former Mayor, Councillor Amy Croft. When I proposed Amy as mayor, I knew she would serve this borough with an openness, humour, and real fierce independence that we've all come to know and love. She really has gone above and beyond every expectation of her, serving this borough with an open-hearted humility and a resolute desire to help and listen to local people. Amy has been an absolute revelation over the last year. She really has, and I'll regale you with stories at the reception. Her energy and enthusiasm has endeared her to residents across the borough. As one of the first Labour mayors from Chiswick, Amy was even honoured with an award from the Chiswick calendar. These awards celebrate the people who have done something that makes Chiswick a better or more interesting place to live. But of course, throughout her time as mayor, Councillor Croft has done more than just serve Chiswick with her characteristic can-do attitude. She's been a mayor for the whole of Hounslow. Her style of positive politics, active engagement, and her willingness to get stuck in are a credit to this borough and are exactly the qualities that any mayor or local councillor should aspire towards. It was clear from the outset that Amy saw the role as being about more than formal events and ribbon cutting, although you did plenty of that, didn't you, Madam Mayor? Oh, sorry, Amy. She threw herself into every mayoral event, whether that meant active community engagement or pulling Lime bikes out of the River Crane. I think you enjoyed that one the most. Her openness and charm have allowed her to work across the political divide, earning the respect of the similarly industrious former councillor, John Todd, who I believe is here somewhere. Good to see you, John. And whilst the last few full council meetings of her mayoral term were far from plain sailing, it's reassuring to see Amy deal with any disruptions in such a calming, respectful and measured way, even if that meant the occasional rebuke whenever I had strayed off topic. Thank you for that, Amy. I think I speak for everyone here when I say what a privilege it has been to see you excel in your role as mayor. And above all, I'd like to thank you for bringing to the role such a clear sense of purpose and an even clearer sense of enjoyment. After all, it is the job of the mayor as first citizen of this borough to provide both leadership and hope. And the positivity you have brought to this role has provided a model for those who will follow. On behalf of everyone here, I would like to thank you, Amy, for your service as the Mayor of Hounslow. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajawat. May I invite Councillor Tom Bruce to second the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to second the vote of thanks for the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Amy Croft. It was no surprise to see the ease with which Amy took the job of Mayor. Amy has been a calm and authoritative chair and a strong believer in upholding the principles of civility in public life. As someone with a menagerie of dogs, lizards and teenage sons at home, she is used to keeping order under challenging circumstances. And as someone who is a trained barrister, she's better placed than most to uphold the council's constitution. Amy has lived in Feltham and Isleworth before representing Chiswick Riverside, and this has meant she knows Hounslow as well as almost anyone, being a voice for residents wherever they live in the borough. Throughout her time as mayor, she's mingled with ambassadors and fellow mayors, mixing with the likes of Brian May and Anita Dobson as well. But it's her work as a local community champion that has been most impressive. Throughout her time as mayor, Amy has officiated duck races in Isleworth, gone litter picking with the Heston Action Group, and cleared rubbish from the Thames foreshore, we've heard about that already, in support of local volunteers. So never mind the mayoral robes, her willingness to roll up her sleeves and get stuck into the work of supporting our local areas has been an inspiration to us all. Thank you again for bringing such joy over the last year. I look forward to working with you even more closely in the years ahead. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. And of course, I know all members would like to thank Mackenzie Ingram, Councillor Croft's oldest son, who she selected to act as a consort for her mayoral year, and who has given her great support to the mayor during her time in the office. And though he is no longer this refers to Junior Mayor. Although he's no longer with us, I know we'll all wish to pay respects and give our thanks to Councillor Junior Mayor, who was Councillor Croft's much respected and much liked and missed Deputy Mayor. We now come to the vote, and it has been moved and seconded that the vote recorded for Councillor Croft and her services as a mayor for 25-26 is agreed. Agreed. Thank you. Can I invite Councillor Croft to receive her badge of recognition for her service as mayor? Thank you. Right, I think Councillor Croft has got a short video for us to watch. And after the video, I would like to invite her to have a short speak. Thank you.
I'm sorry, that was really long. It's certainly been the honour of my life to have been Mayor of the London Borough of Hounslow for the last year. Having lived in the borough for over 20 years, I now realise that I only knew a fraction of the amazing things that go on here. What struck me most is the sheer volume of people across the borough selflessly doing things, doing good for others in the community, whether it be through charities, through business, or just individual residents helping their friends and neighbours. So the opportunity to go out and meet all of these wonderful people that the mayoralty provides is truly priceless. If you would have asked me what the mayoralty entailed this time last year, I would have said dressing up and raising money for charity. But it's so much more than that. By far the most important thing for me has been speaking to pretty much thousands of people and helping to connect and empower them to foster community building across the borough. There is way too long a list to thank everyone who's helped make this year so special, but I must make mention of a few special people. So firstly, to my son and consort, Mackenzie Ingram. Wave, Kens. So getting to share some of the most important events with you has been really special, and also the only way to get you to hang out with me at your age. To my other son, Loxley, give me a wave, Lox. My mum, who's there too. And my husband, thank you for your support, even though you haven't seen me much over the last year. To Carol and Nicole, without whom I would not have known where I am going or why. Their professionalism and patience and good humour is beyond measure, and I am eternally grateful for their support. Also to Thomas Ribbits for his wisdom and kind-natured guidance. You are truly one of a kind, Thomas, and it's an absolute pleasure to know you. To the Deputy Lieutenant Rosie Prescott for your tutorage on all things formal and your friendship. To the Leader of the Council Shantanu Rajwat, for persuading me I would be a good mayor, and for all the work that you do and often don't get credit for. For our three wonderful MPs, Ruth Cadbury, Seema Malhotra and Andy Slaughter, for all your support. To Yag and Gary for making me sound and look good when I don't really. And for all of Democratic Services for putting up with my random questions and occasional blue language. To the Chief Exec, Mandy Skinner, thank you for your support and my apologies for the occasional blue language. To all members past and present and all officers, thank you for everything you do for to support our wonderful borough. My thanks to my two wonderful charities, the Hounslow Youth Counselling Service and the Hogarth Youth and Community Centre, who we have raised over £8,000 for, but also hopefully raised their profile along with a number of other worthy charities. Finally, thank you to the wonderful charities, organisations and individuals that I've had the pleasure of meeting and working with over the last year. You are amazing in everything you do for the borough. Is so appreciated. I cannot conclude my thanks without paying special tribute to my Deputy Mayor, Councillor Ginny Meir, who sadly passed earlier this year, as you heard. It was an honour to share this journey with you. Thank you for your service, your kindness and your friendship. Ooh, sorry. Frog in my throat. Long may you be remembered. I will just conclude with a few tips for the incoming mayor that I think you may find helpful. Go to as many events as possible and speak to as many people as you possibly can. Keep a list of people you meet with contact details so that you can remember who they are and connect to people who are doing the same thing later. Always be kind. Don't eat before events, as everybody will try to feed you and it is rude when you refuse. Try and source a summer robe because that is so uncomfortable in this weather. And finally, always wear flats. It can be long days. So it's been a massive honour to represent this wonderfully diverse borough as mayor, but also to continue to do so as a councillor. Moving forward, I hope that we were all able to work together across the broad political spectrum that the council now represents for the best interests of our residents and the borough as a whole. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Councillor Croft. It's difficult to fill your shoes, but thank you for the advice. And I wasn't planning to wear high heels, by the way. And as to not eating before functions, well, I think my waistline is already expanding, so that's not going to help. Anyway, thanks a lot. Right, good evening, everyone. I would like to start by extending my sincere thanks to everyone for being here tonight. As I'm known as the Lion of Punjab by my colleagues, The Lion of Punjab has arisen and has been elected the mayor for the London Borough of Hounslow. It is an enormous honor to me, and I would personally like to thank the following people: the Deputy Lieutenant, Ms. Rosie Prescott, the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Sahiba Hussain, who will be working alongside me during my term in office, our freemen, free women, aldermen, alderwomen, and all honourable guests, my fellow members of the council from all parties, the outgoing Mayor, Councillor Amy Croft, for a shining example and an excellent mayor, whose shoes I hope I will fulfill. Councillor Shantanu Rajawat, Leader of the Council and his Cabinet, and all three respected Members of Parliament, Ruth Cadbury, MP, Seema Malhotra, MP, and Andy Slaughter, MP. Scott Purcell, the Hounslow Borough Commander for the London Fire Brigade. Mandy Skinner, the Chief Executive. We've had some good laughs. Already, yes. It started at the election, and we intend to continue to do so. My colleagues and friends in the community, and of course, my family members, especially the Ruproy family, and my invited guests, and not forgetting David and Judith Harvey, who are the foster parents to my lovely dog, Lulu. It is a great honor to announce that I have selected my niece, Dr. Praveen Ruproy, to be the mayoress. I'm not sure if she's arrived, but she was on duty today. Oh, she is here. Thank you. So she'll be accompanying me along during my mayoral term. To be the first citizen of the borough and to represent Hounslow is a great honor, and to promote the council as a whole and act as a focal point for the community. The role continues a great British tradition of local governance, which carries many responsibilities, both here and in the council chamber and the community. I'm passionate about using my term in office to be representative of all the people of Hounslow, and I will maintain the cultural and traditional values of the borough through notions of harmony, humanity, respect, equality, and fairness. I will also do my best to chair council meetings effectively and fairly, and ensure that we are all guided in what we do here by the spirit of equity and public service to all our residents, because we've been selected by our residents and we have to serve them correctly with gusto. I would also like to touch upon the importance of charitable and community work being undertaken by a great number of social groups and charities. I'm grateful to all those committed organizations of all sizes, big and small, for their great work. And I'm excited that this year will give me the opportunity to spend more time learning about the amazing work. I'm passionate about looking after our elderly and sick and vulnerable. Too often, these folk are left to defend for themselves or rely on the nearest and dearest. Loneliness is awful. And having experienced it myself, I hope we can join the organization Empty Chairs and help those in need for the future. Tonight, I would like to announce my chosen charity, which has already been announced by Councillor Rajawat. It's okay. This will be Age UK, Hounslow, specifically the dementia services, and all funds raised will be ring-fenced for dementia services. The organization provides free dementia station in Feltham. It has weekly gatherings designed for individuals with dementia and memory challenges, along with their caregivers and families. It engages in dementia-friendly activities to promote mental and physical well-being through singing, light exercises, music, art, storytelling, discussions, and friendly conversations in supportive environment. The center also has a memory lane cafe, connecting with new faces and providing hot and cold food and drinks. The experience brings joy to the community within us. For me, this is very personal, as my partner of 45 years died from dementia on 26th of December 2024. I would be grateful if you could all help to support this fantastic charity, raising awareness of the wonderful work they do, and where you can, by donating generously, you will have the opportunity to do so tonight at the reception which is to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, with your support during my term as mayoral office, I hope I will be able to continue on the course of my predecessor, Councillor Croft, who I'm sure everyone will agree has done an amazing job as mayor over the past year. I'm looking forward to undertaking this important role and representing the residents across the borough. Thank you. I will now like to end the first part of the meeting by reminding members that we are all in this chamber over the coming year will be involved in many important and serious debates and discussions on issues which affect the lives of all of us and our residents. While we may disagree on how to achieve our hopes for the borough, we can all agree that we can be respectful, polite, polite in debates, and so I'll be requiring all members to remember that future meetings I intend to enforce it carefully and firmly. I would like to invite all elected members and their guests to a small reception that I have arranged after the meeting. We now move on to the next agenda item 5, and that is the election of the leader and the notification of the appointment of the leader and the cabinet. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah. So invite. I would like to invite Councillor Tom Bruce to nominate for the nomination of the leader.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is my great honour to propose as the leader of Hounslow Council my dear friend, Councillor Shantanu Rajawat. I have known Shan since we were young, and we have been councillors together for the past 16 years. In that time, Shan has been incredibly devoted to this borough and determined to make a difference to the lives of its residents. Over the last 4 years, I've been proud to serve under his leadership as we work to make this borough a greener, cleaner, safer, fairer, and more thriving place to live. The mark of a good leader is the ability to meet adversity with ambition. The last 4 years have been far from plain sailing. When Councillor Rajawat's administration began in 2022, we were still recovering from the impact of the pandemic. Russia just launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, sending prices spiraling. And then, in the autumn of that year, came Liz Truss. The legacy of 14 years of austerity, combined with the cost of living crisis, created one of the most challenging periods in our borough's history. And here in Hounslow, Councillor Rajawat's leadership rose to meet that moment and never lost its ambition. We increased support for residents, investing £1.6 million into Hounslow Citizens Advice, and expanded support in the form of community hubs and at all our libraries. We continued to make our borough a greener place to live, planting over 25,000 trees, investing £5 million into our parks, and launched new initiatives like Grow for the Future and the Right to Grow. We worked to make our borough cleaner, doubling our street cleaning operations and introducing the special waste service to catch the criminals who dump rubbish on our streets. We worked to make our borough safer by investing £15 million into community safety and beginning the introduction of our borough-wide enforcement team. We worked to make life fairer for ordinary residents, whether by investing £300 million into improving our estates or by helping young people to find work through our youth skills and employment guarantee. And we also focused on making our borough a more thriving place to live, supporting grassroots organisations with our Thriving Communities Fund, expanding our Summer of Culture, finding the money to build brand new flagship leisure centre, and investing in public realm improvements from Felton Green to Ginkgo Corner in Chiswick. Look, the scale of the challenge faced by local government has been unprecedented. But while some other boroughs have faltered, here in Hounslow, this council has come through that period stronger. And that is thanks to the leadership of Councillor Shantanu Rajawat. Leadership is about meeting the moment. And Councillor Rajawat met adversity with ambition, and it's now time to embrace a new moment of opportunity. With an additional £60 million in government funding, this next administration will be able to go further and faster to deliver on the priorities of local people. Over the past few months, weeks and months, I've knocked on countless doors, and I know the rest of us have as well. Residents appreciate the challenges that we face, but they all agree there is more to be done. Councillor Rajawat is just the person to do that. He's the person we need to take our borough forward, and he is the leader for this moment. I urge everyone here to support him tonight in building a fairer, kinder borough where we embrace new opportunities with hope and ambition. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. I would like now to invite Amy Croft to second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm proud to second the nomination for Councillor Shantanu Rajawat for leader of the London Borough of Hounslow. If I may, I'd like to say a few words about the reasons why I believe Councillor Rajawat has the qualities we need to unite this borough and the values we need to deliver real progressive change. As someone born and raised in Heston, Councillor Rajawat's devotion to every corner of our geographically diverse borough runs deep. It was for that reason that he supported me to become Chiswick's first Labour mayor, and as long as anyone here can remember. Whether during my year as mayor or at any point during my time as a councillor, Shan has been enormously supportive. Whatever community event or mayoral engagement I roped him into, I always knew he would be there to support me. He's an excellent and extremely patient listener. Whenever I marched into his office to talk about leaf clearing or local traffic measures, I knew that he would listen attentively to what I had to say and work constructively to help find a solution. Listening and acting are, after all, what we are elected here to do. Shan's kindness, supportiveness and willingness to listen are qualities that every leader should embody. I look forward to working together over the next 4 years to deliver real progressive change. This leads me on, Mr. Mayor, to the question of why values matter. On the 7th of May, residents across the borough voted to return a Labour administration. Labour was the only party to win seats across the borough from Feltham to Chiswick. Under the leadership of Councillor Rajawat, we stood on one of the most progressive manifestos our local party has ever produced, one that I'm really, really proud of, with promises of youth opportunity, youth clubs and activities for every young person and improvement funds for every local town centre. And town. More importantly, we stood on a promise to defend certain progressive values, the values that bind our communities together and the values that make the different parts of our borough places that we should feel proud to call home. Those values of community, progress, fairness and respect are values Councillor Rajawat will uphold. They are the values we were elected to defend. They are the values I will be voting for tonight. I urge everyone here to do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Croft. I believe we have another candidate for the position of leader of the council, so I would like to invite Councillor Gurpreet Sidhu to propose them.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm proud to propose Councillor Jack Elmsley as leader of the council. This borough deserves a leader who is hardworking, accountable, and genuinely committed to getting things done for our residents and for the wider people of Hounslow. Tonight, I put to this chamber that Councillor Elmsley is that leader. Councillor Elmsley has represented Chiswick Homefield since 2022, and in that time, he has worked alongside his colleagues to tackle issues such as fly tipping, potholes, and to supporting our residents. And that's not the track record of a politician. That is the track record of a public servant. Apologies, page turning. A good leader is somebody who is going to deliver what they promise, and Councillor Jack Elmsley is just that. Councillor Elmsley offers this chamber a different path, a better alternative to a brighter future, a future rooted in physical responsibility, transparency, and genuine service to our residents and our borough, and a leader who has already demonstrated day after day what it means to put the people of our borough first. So, Mr. Mayor, I commend Councillor Jack Elmsley to this council, the leader of the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sidhu. May I now invite Councillor Lyndon Grigg to second the proposal.
I'm very proud to second Jack, but I first want to send condolences to him and his family. They're going through a very tough time at the moment, and he has all of our, I'm sure, best wishes. In the spirit of positivity, I actually first want to congratulate Councillor Rajwat for his re-election and nomination. It's all the more impressive because, frankly, we weren't sure whether you were going to make it. But like Jose Mourinho, he's made a surprise return to the top job, tasked with managing the high expectations and the big egos after a difficult few years. But this evening, I'm proud to be seconding Councillor Jack Emsley, who I personally see as being more like Brentford's Keith Andrews. A man who's been a major factor in the team's recent success after diligent work in the background. He's inherited an ambitious group from a very popular leader, and I do not doubt that just as Andrews has had a very successful first season and a well-deserved contract extension, Councillor Emsley will make a fine leader of the council. He has consistently raised the alarm about the 15 million losses of the Lambton Group. He has called for higher standards from councillors in their attitudes towards their responsibilities. And he was rewarded at the last election with the most votes of any councillor in this chamber. Though I wasn't surprised, as his ward mate, knocking on doors around Chiswick Homefields, from Staveley Gardens to Bedford Park, I got déjà vu. Yes, Jack has been very helpful, was a disconcertingly common phrase to hear wherever I went in my ward. I also got déjà vu watching council committee sessions where time and time again, in response to Councillor Emsley's questioning, Labour members fell back on the excuse that Liz Truss crashed the economy. Well, Madam Mayor, considering the current cost of borrowing, I am looking forward to hearing what they will say going forward. But seriously, there are huge financial challenges on the horizon for this council, which under the current chaotic political conditions will only get worse. I'm seconding Councillor Emsley.
You have 29 seconds.
Because I believe that his fairness, openness, and his willingness to listen make him the right person to overcome these challenges, especially in a multi-party system. That's why I'm proud to second him as leader of the London Borough of Hounslow Council this evening.
Thank you, Councillor Lyndon Grigg. Are there any other nominations? No. As there are no other nominations, we'll move to second and Councillor Rajawat to be elected the leader of point 4. Yeah, I thought so. I'll be taking both nominations together and allowing a short time for members to speak if they wish. I remind councillors to be positive about their favoured candidate rather than negative about the other candidate. Yes, move to the vote? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going to have the vote for Councillor Emsley first. So all those in favour of Councillor Emsley to be the leader, please raise your hands. Clearly, please raise it fully. Thank you. Can you put your hands down? Thank you. So all those in favor of Councillor Rajawat to be the leader, please raise your hands up and hold them. Are there any, thank you, you can put your hands down. Sorry. Are there any abstentions? The votes have been counted, and I can declare that Councillor Rajawat has been duly elected the leader of this council. May I invite Councillor Rajawat to sign the declaration of acceptance of office, please. Thank you. May I invite our new leader to address the council and give details of his choice of appointments to the cabinet and the deputy leader. So would you like, yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, everyone. Before I start my speech, I hope everyone in the chamber will join me in offering our sincerest condolences to Councillor Elmsley, who sadly lost his mum over the weekend. I guess standing here today, I almost take for granted that my parents and wife are here tonight, and cannot imagine not having them around. I pray that Councillor Elmsley will draw strength from the many happy memories with his mother and the pride I'm sure she had when he was first elected as a councillor, then opposition whip, and now leader of the opposition. All of our thoughts and prayers are with Councillor Elmsley and his family and friends. It's 4 years since I last stood here in this chamber as the newly elected leader of the London Borough of Hounslow. And it remains now, just as it was then, the greatest honour of my life. Looking around this chamber, I see lots of new faces, including some from different political parties. So to those sitting opposite, I want to say this. We may wear different colour rosettes, we may disagree on questions of policy, we may hold different values, and we may feel at times that there is almost nothing that we hold in common. I can tell you now that this is not the case. We are all residents of this great borough. We all stood for election with a sincere desire to make life better for our friends, neighbours, and fellow residents. We are here because we care about our local area, because we are proud of where we live, and because we want to make a difference. However much we may disagree here in the chamber, the door to my office will always be open to anyone who shares that common goal of improving the lives of our residents. Now, to those residents across Hounslow who put their faith in local Labour candidates, I want to say a sincere thank you. We will work to repay that faith and that trust by delivering an agenda of real progressive change. I want to take this opportunity to introduce my cabinet team that will help deliver this change. I wish to confirm that Councillor Bruce will continue as my deputy leader and will retain his portfolio. Tom and I are joined by Councillors Bath, Councillor Samia Chowdhury, Councillor Amy Croft, Councillor Sue Sampson, Councillor Muddy Arasim, Councillor Ajmer Garawal, Councillor Salman Shaheen and Councillor Max Mosley as the cabinet, and their respective portfolios are listed in the papers this evening. The cabinet will also be supported by Councillors Bowring, Hill, Mahmood, Benedetti and Ahmed as cabinet assistants. And again, their specific work projects are also listed in the table papers. Mr. Mayor, I was born in this borough. I grew up here and I'm proud to call this place home. And even prouder to be raising my son, Augustia, here. In 2022, in this very same meeting, Augustia was just about to turn 5. It'd be fair to say he may have known that his dad was giving speeches, but he really didn't understand what he was saying. Maybe a lot of you would say that. But now, on the cusp of turning 10 and becoming a bit of a history buff, he only needs to understand one thing. Sorry. How much being his dad makes me the proudest man on earth. Augusta, you inspire me to wake up every day and make sure you and every young person have every opportunity and the best place to grow up. I'm also equally proud to be a corporate parent, and so it is for my son and every young person in Hounslow that I want to help build a fairer future. That is why our administration will work to give every child in our borough a fairer start in life. We will support families so that every young person starts school ready to learn. We'll invest in youth clubs and activities for every young person. And we'll build mentoring schemes, promote apprenticeships, and provide work placements to help young people take their first steps into adulthood. A fairer future is one where women are supported, with grant funding to access opportunities and professions in which they have been historically underrepresented. Our administration will tackle misogyny and provide the women of our borough with protection and support. A fairer future is also one that is fairer for older residents, where no voices are overlooked and where people of all ages are supported to live rich and fulfilling lives. A fairer future is one where we stand up for workers and small businesses with living wage accreditation grants and support for startups. And a fairer future is one where we provide council tenants and private renters with the protections they need to feel safe and secure in their homes. But of course, Mr. Mayor, fairness is about more than just tackling injustice. Sometimes it just means fixing the problems that people encounter in their daily lives and making life that little bit easier. That is why we will bring in free bulky waste collection and community skip days, saving households on getting rid of large items. It's why we're cracking down on those who disrespect our communities by bringing in a brand new enforcement team to tackle fly tipping and antisocial behaviour. It is only fair that residents should be able to go about their lives feeling safe and secure. That is why our administration will always fight for more police on our streets, more cameras in our public spaces, more engagement with local communities, and tougher action to stamp out intimidating behaviour. We will also help create meaningful alternatives to crime by providing more opportunities and life chances for people of all ages. A fairer future is also one where we tackle the climate crisis head on by improving the energy efficiency of our homes, investing in cleaner, healthier ways to get around the borough, and by delivering a green heat network to bring down bills. And finally, I've spoken about how proud I am to live here in the London Borough of Hounslow. We want everyone in this borough to feel that same sense of pride. That's why we will create town centre and neighbourhood improvement funds so that every resident can feel proud of where they live. Councillor Bruce is absolutely right. There is a lot to get done, but I could not be prouder of our team of Labour councillors, and I know that together we will deliver the progressive change that our borough needs. I can't wait to get started. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Rajawat. I also invite members formally to note the agenda report and the supplementary agenda report.
Noted.
We now move on to agenda item 6, which can be found on pages 11 to 78 of the original agenda. So I invite the leader to propose the recommendations and nominations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I formally move the report and happy to discuss.
Can I invite the Deputy Leader, Tom Bruce, to second the report?
Peter, second the report. Reserve my right to speak.
May I check to see if there are any other nominations? None? Okay. Should we move to it? Right. There are two contested appointments. These are the position of Vice Chair for the Chiswick Area Forum. The Conservative group has proposed Councillor Giles, and the Labour group has proposed Councillor Rick Rowe. The second contested position is the position of Vice Chair for the Heston and Cranford Area Forum. The Conservative group have proposed Councillor Mudelia, and the Labour group have proposed Councillor Jasmine Diol as the Vice Chair. I assume no other contested positions? No. Agreed? Yes? Yeah. Thank you. We'll now deal with the contested elections one by one, starting with the Chiswick Area Forum. Do we agree to all the uncontested nominations first? Yeah, agreed. Okay. Okay, now we'll deal with the contested elections one by one, starting with the Chiswick Area Forum. We'll have a short debate on this election, which I'm willing to permit and would allow members to ask and keep any contributions short. Move. Okay. We have two nominees for the Vice Chair and Chiswick Area Forum tonight, which is Councillor Gabriella Giles and Councillor Rick Rowe. I would therefore ask members to vote by raising their hand once only for the candidate of their choice. I will do this in reverse order and the nominations were received, which means we'll vote first on Councillor Rowe and then on Councillor Giles. May I ask all those in favour of Councillor Rick Rowe to raise their hand, please? Thank you. You can put your hands down. We go to the vote for Councillor Gabriella Giles. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Are there any abstentions? You can put your hands down. Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Rick Rowe has been duly elected. Thank you, members. We can now move to Heston and Cranford Area Forum. Again, we have two nominees for Vice Chair of Heston and Cranford Area Forum, Councillor Sampath Mudelia and Councillor Jasmine Deol. I would therefore ask members to vote by raising their hand only once for the candidate of their choice. I will do this in reverse order, and the nominations were received, which means we'll vote for Councillor Deol first and then Councillor Mudia. So all those in favour of Councillor Jasmine Deol, please raise your hand. Thank you. You can put your hands down. All those in favour of Councillor Sampath Mudia? Thank you. You can put your hands down. I'm pleased to announce that Sorry, are there any abstentions? Thank you. Can you put your hands down? I can announce that Councillor Jasmine Deol has been duly elected. We move to the next agenda item 7. You'll be pleased to know there's only one more to go. Members will find this item on pages 75 to 83 of the original agenda. Again, you'll find that the latest nominations have been tabled and the documents should have been before you. I think they were on your table. So I would invite the leader to propose the recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, move them, just noting there's a slight error in the nomination to the Blue School Trust, which we can amend outside of the meeting if the meeting's agreeable to the rest of the report.
Sorry?
It's my understanding that that's actually appointed not by the council, but by local people. Yeah, I think so. I think no, it doesn't get struck off. I think they can still have council members, but it's not appointed by this body. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Agreed? Yeah? Okay. Can I invite Councillor Bruce, the Deputy Leader, to second the report?
Yeah, happy to second the report.
Thank you, Councillor Bruce. So there are no contested appointments, so we can agree with the nominations. Yeah. Right, move to the final agenda, agenda item 8. May I ask members to note that the date of the next meeting of the council, the next ordinary meeting of the council is scheduled for Tuesday, 21st of July. The meeting will commence at 7:30 p.m. and will take place in the council chamber. I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you everyone for attending, to all the members, including their guests, for attending the meeting. I invite members and their guests to join for a small mayoral reception in the lounge area. And also there's a reminder for the members to ensure that you sign the attendance book, which if you have not done so. And lastly, I would like to wish everyone a happy Eid. I understand which is tomorrow. So happy Eid. So I propose to formally close the meeting. Thank you.